When injuries change your life, call the lawyers that care. Call Chase and Boscola, 1-800-728-5898.
Good morning, America. As harrowing new stories of survival emerge, the shooter behind the synagogue massacre in Pittsburgh appearing in court for the first time, charged with a hate crime. Now prosecutors vowing to pursue the death penalty.
President Trump heads to Pittsburgh today after ordering more than 5,000 troops to the Mexican border to confront the caravan of migrants still nearly 1,000 miles away. Critics call the president's move a political stunt.
Mid-air mystery. The investigation into that deadly plane crash, the brand new Boeing jet crashing into the sea with 189 people on board. Now major questions. Was one of the passengers on the U.S. no-fly list? And what happened in the previous incident involving that very same plane?
School bus scare. A student on board as this bus gets swept away in floodwaters. The child thankfully okay, while the driver's facing charges.
New details on that cruise ship nightmare. The couple who says they found a camera hidden in their cabin recording the moment security took it away. What to make sure you look for to protect your privacy on vacation.
And lucky to be alive. The crazy close call caught on dash cam. A car slamming into this truck. How this man survived.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, Mick. I hope you're well this Tuesday morning. It is a busy one.
It really is. And we're going to begin with the latest on that synagogue massacre. Some of the 11 victims being laid to rest today.
The shooter appearing before a judge facing calls for the death penalty. ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman starts us off there in Pittsburgh with the latest. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Robin. That shooter was wheeled into court. He's accused of dozens of crimes, as you mentioned, those felonies. Now, in that courtroom, he seemed chillingly unfazed by all those counts against him. That as investigators are still trying to unravel what caused him to snap.
The man who allegedly turned a quiet Sabbath into a massacre, pushed into court in a wheelchair. Robert Bowers, who'd been shot multiple times, was arraigned Monday, charged with 29 federal counts, including hate crimes. Law enforcement sources telling ABC News Bowers had amassed 10 guns and brought 4 of them to the synagogue, all of them legally purchased. Those bullets tearing through worshipers that quiet Saturday morning, and the police who responded. Trauma surgeon Dr. Keith Murray is also a SWAT team member.
We've already had 2 officers shot, and we're already getting reports of dead on scene.
As his team moved into the lower sanctuary, they found an elderly woman shot in the arm, clinging quietly to the body of a friend.
She was just staying with the body?
Mm-hmm. And so, we kind of, removed her from her friend. I think my medic put a tourniquet on her, and then we got her out of there as fast as possible.
Others hiding, trying not to be noticed by the shooter.
We were still holding our prayer books and wearing our prayer shawls. We were trying to disguise ourselves as bags of clothing in a room of bags of clothing.
Rabbi Jeffrey Myers helped several of his congregants flee and then acted as eyes and ears for police dispatchers.
And I'm hearing people screaming, and it's seared in my brain. I can't erase that tape.
Upstairs, the shooter blasting away at SWAT officers and spouting hatred.
Suspects talking about all these Jews need to die. We're still communicating with them.
One police officer riddled with bullets, Dr. Murray just feet away from the gunfire.
One of the other officers drug him out of the room. Someone else removed his armor, took his helmet off, and they carried him down the stairs. So in between him getting shot and him getting handed off to us, 20 seconds. It was amazing.
Officer Timothy Matson suffered injuries to his legs, arms, and head.
So if we weren't there, there's no doubt in my mind he'd be dead.
Rabbi Myers also thought he would be dead, until finally the SWAT team found him.
How grateful were you to see them when they came in?
Immensely. I really thought I was dead. I was gonna hang up my cell phone and make a video for my wife in the hopes that maybe they'd find the cell phone.
Now, in Judaism, you're typically supposed to bury the dead as soon as possible, Robin, but we're told that funerals here in Pittsburgh will last all week long. Rabbi Myers told me that there are so many to bury. He's only one rabbi and can only do 2 funerals a day. Incidentally, Rabbi Myers is one of the people who will meet with President Trump later today.
But, Matt, there are some people who are asking for the president not to come at this time, including the mayor of Pittsburgh.
The mayor, council members, many of them are asking the president to delay his trip at least until everybody is buried here and the funerals are over. But there are others who say that he is welcomed. Still, it is the president's initial reaction to the shooting that seemed to focus on putting armed guards in places of worship like that synagogue behind me, instead of focusing on sympathy that seemed to upset so many people here in Pittsburgh, Robin.
That's understandable. All right, Matt, thank you.
And Robin, as the president heads to Pittsburgh with 1 week to go before the midterms, he's also doing everything he can to put the focus on immigration. With a new plan to send more than 5,000 troops to the U.S.-Mexico border that critics are calling a political ploy. I want to bring in our chief White House correspondent, John Carl. And John, this border deployment, the largest in decades, the question, is it justified by an actual threat?
Well, George, first of all, this is a significant deployment of active duty U.S. military. To put it in context, it's twice the number of troops that are currently deployed in Syria. And if you look at the situation, it sure looks more like a political move tied to the midterm elections than an actual effort to control the border. For one thing, consider the fact that this caravan that the president talks about is still some 900 miles from the border. And these troops cannot actually control the border. By law, all they can do is support the Border Patrol. They cannot take part in law enforcement. They can only do things like transporting border agents or building tents. And finally, this is a temporary deployment. This is 45 days deployment, George. And by some estimates, this caravan won't even reach the border for another 45 days.
But we are 1 week from the election. Meantime, we're also a new report this morning that the president is considering an executive order to do away with this so-called birthright citizenship, the 14th Amendment guarantee that anyone who is born in the United States is a citizen, even if their parents are not. A lot of constitutional experts say the president simply can't do that.
Well, the Supreme Court has never directly ruled on this question of whether or not somebody born to undocumented immigrants would be a citizen, but that has certainly been the interpretation. It is in the 14th Amendment. And, George, the president, one thing is certain, cannot change the Constitution with an executive order.
And, John, we've also saw a series of tweets from the president yesterday continuing this strategy of delegitimizing the media, calling the media the enemy of the people, blaming the media for a lot of the problems we're seeing, he said, over the last week. You had a pretty contentious exchange with Sarah Sanders yesterday in the briefing room.
Why is he out there, when you say he's trying to unite the country, why is he out there
Jonathan, the very first thing that the president did was condemn the attacks both in Pittsburgh and in the pipe bombs. The very first thing the media did was blame the president and make him responsible for these ridiculous acts.
Why is the president suggesting it's the news media? The president's the one placing blame here.
No, the president's not placing blame. The president's not responsible for these acts.
Well, it's a jarring line of attack, George. The president, on one hand, you hear it from Sarah Sanders, talk about peace and harmony and uniting the country, and then literally blaming the, quote, fake news media for the level of hate in the country. But it's a classic Trump tactic. If you go back to 2016, Leslie Stahl asked him why he does it, and according to Leslie Stahl, the president responded back then, you know why I do it? I do it to discredit you and demean you all so that when you write negative stories about me, nobody will believe you.
Okay, John Carl, thanks very much. This has been our chief political analyst, Matthew Dowd, for more on all this. So now we have pretty competing narratives going into this final week before the midterms. You've got the focus on the shooting in Pittsburgh. You've got those pipe bombs, potential pipe bombs last week. The president trying to change the focus to immigration. How do you think this is going to play out over the final 7 days?
Well, I think it's a risky bet for the president in what he's doing in the course of this, but the president has been known for risky bets that have paid off sometimes and not paid off sometimes in the course of his life. I think the problem for the president is the number one issue among voters is health care, and he knows, I think, and GOP knows, that the Republicans are on the defensive on health care. And so as we discuss all these important issues, the dominant issue for voters is health care.
He's also doing something unusual in the final week before a midterm, a first midterm for a president, when there's usually some kind of a reaction to the president's. He's got a completely full campaign schedule in these final 7 days.
Yeah, and I think, as I say, it's a risky bet because he's now going to own the results of these midterms. So whatever happens in the House, whatever happens in the Senate, whatever happens in the gubernatorial races. And the other thing I think he has to worry about, for all the motivation he's doing for his base, the question is, for every one voter he motivates from his base, does he move two independent voters away from him? And I think that's the risk that he has here, because independent voters right now are not siding with the Republicans.
What's the single most important thing you're going to be watching in this final week?
I'm going to watch. As of now, the president's job approval rating is 40% positive in the latest Gallup poll, 54% negative, which is the lowest historic number a president has gone into his midterm in modern times. I'm watching the strongly approve versus strongly disapprove, and that differential right now is something like 18 points, and it's 20 points among independent voters, and independent voters will decide this election.
Matt Dowd, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, George, now to disturbing new developments in that serial bomb case. As the suspect made his first appearance in court, another package was found in the mail, and now authorities are revealing he had a long list of names and addresses said to be potential targets. ABC's Victor Oquendo has more from Miami. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning, Michael. That list includes celebrities, media figures, and other politicians, according to a law enforcement source. Even though Cesar Sayoc is in custody at the federal detention facility behind me, there is the possibility of more bombs still out there. This morning, the renewed warning from the FBI. Additional explosive devices could still be traveling through the mail system. Late Monday night, according to an internal memo from the Times, a suspicious envelope addressed to that Times editor was discovered in a newsroom mailbox. Everyone on high alert. The NYPD called in, later determining it was a false alarm born out of hyper-caution. Law enforcement sources telling ABC News the FBI has compiled the list of what it says are mail bomb suspect Cesar Sayoc's potential targets. The names include politicians, media figures, and celebrities. The FBI now notifying everyone on that list, including an editor at the New York Times. Meanwhile, Sayoc is in federal custody after his brief initial appearance in court Monday, flanked by 3 private attorneys, speaking softly and nodding when responding to the judge. One of his lawyers casting doubt on the sole fingerprint matching Sayoc investigators say they found on one of the 14 bombs they believe he mailed last week. So you're going to be calling the fingerprint into question?
Right now, the fingerprint is in question.
And when Sayoc was in court on Monday, he actually broke down in tears when he spotted his sister in the courtroom. A family attorney tells us they had not seen each other in 3 years. He'll be back in court on Friday. That's where they will likely decide when to move him to New York for trial. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, Victor. Robin?
And Michael, now to that new footage showing the terrifying moment gunfire erupted at a high school in North Carolina on Monday. One student dying in a fight before class. Paula Ferris is here. And Paula, the school thinks bullying played a role?
That's right, Robin. Good morning to you. Authorities believe this stemmed from a case of bullying that escalated out of control. They say fear took over and one person brought a gun to school to solve their problems. This morning, shocking new video showing chaos in a North Carolina area high school. Students running for their lives.
Matthew PD is advising someone shot at the school. One male student is injured.
Gunshots ringing out as a fight breaks out in the hallway just before the first class started. It was all captured on this Instagram video.
Teachers like, get in the classroom, get in the classroom. So first thing I did, I went in the classroom.
The victim, 16-year-old Bobby McKeithen, rushed to the hospital where he later died. A friend of the victim says he watched as an argument with another student escalated into a physical altercation.
As he was walking away, he was sadly shot in the back. And then I saw the gun and I had to run.
The suspect, a 16-year-old freshman surrendering in a classroom. He was taken into custody and is charged with first-degree murder.
Conflict began with bullying that escalated out of control.
Friends and family describe McKeithen as a happy, caring individual.
He enjoyed life. He enjoyed his family. He enjoyed friends. Bobby was a good kid, loved life.
Police say the conflict between the 16-year-olds had been brewing for weeks. The panicked school on lockdown for 2 hours before being lifted. The school is bringing in counselors to help students still scared, some afraid to go back to class.
I never expected it to happen at Butler, but I thought I felt safe there, you know.
Now, one of the students asked the school's superintendent how another student could come onto campus with a loaded gun
He said he had no easy answer for that. They don't have metal detectors. They don't search the students. They rely on cooperation and communication. That wasn't enough, sadly, tragically.
Thank you. Thanks, Paula.
Thank you so much, Paula. And now to a medical alert about an alarming rise in cases of that mystery polio-like illness that is striking children. The CDC confirming 72 cases this year in 24 states. And now the CDC's own medical advisors are criticizing the agency's response. ABC's Eva Pilgrim is here with more. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Michael. This morning, the CDC reporting 10 more confirmed cases of AFM compared to last week, and the institution now under fire for how it's handled this outbreak.
Concern growing over the spread of a baffling illness paralyzing children.
They said it was sort of like a sister or cousin to polio.
A few months ago, 5-year-old Elizabeth of Texas could not move her arm. Elizabeth is fighting acute flaccid myelitis, or AFM. It starts off looking just like a cold or the flu, but quickly turns into polio-like symptoms.
How bad was it?
Super bad.
Super bad. It was excruciating.
She spent nearly a month in the hospital and was bedridden for 5 days. After physical and occupational therapy, she accomplished a major milestone on Sunday, finishing a kids triathlon. So far, there are 72 confirmed cases in 24 states with nearly 200 cases under investigation. This morning, the CDC facing criticism that they aren't doing enough.
My suspicion is that the CDC numbers are close to accurate, but by no means capture all of the cases that have occurred in the United States.
The exact cause of AFM is unknown, but doctors say it could be linked to viruses. At this time, there is no cure.
And one of the major criticisms of the CDC right now is that it doesn't know exactly how many cases are out there. The CDC saying they are encouraging reporting. Michael.
Well, how does the CDC not have that kind of information?
Well, the states aren't required to report, and the numbers that they're getting are at least 4 weeks old because it takes that long for the information to get in. So it's not an accurate snapshot of what it looks like right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Eva. Robin?
You want to switch a little gear?
Switch gears.
Switch gears a little
We need
bit.
it.
Something a little bit lighter right now. An incredible record on the basketball court. Take a look at this. This is the moment. Klay Thompson, boy, did he break out of his slump. 14 three-pointers. 14 three-pointers. And breaking his teammate Steph Curry's record. Went on to have 52 points, and they beat the Bulls 149 to 124. But he wasn't playing so well to begin the season, but I think the slump is over.
Well, the challenge is on for Steph now.
Exactly. You read my mind.
He knows. He knows. Thanks.
All right, overseas now. We're going to go to major flooding in historic Venice, Italy. Take a look at these pictures, this video. 75% of the city is underwater. Strong winds from a storm system leading to an unusually high tide, raising water levels by 5 feet. Now, Venice is accustomed to flooding, but this is the worst flooding that they have experienced in 10 years. People just wading down the middle of the street.
They ran the marathon through it.
Yeah. That's commitment.
Let's go to Ginger now. Ginger, snow.
Yes, snow, Denver, snow. You could have a white Halloween in Denver, but let's talk about what was happening for a second EF0 tornado in Oregon. This one happened in Scio, Oregon, which is south and east of Salem. Didn't do a ton of damage, but there were funnels spotted elsewhere, Forest Grove there. The snow you're talking about, George, right there in New Mexico and southern Colorado, that happens today. Then by tomorrow, it could get downright scary for Halloween. The afternoon and evening, we have tornado possibilities. There's enough instability, that lift, and enough wind shear that's going to turn the atmosphere to give Houston, Alexandria, even Beaumont the chance for severe storms. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, Tuesday Trivia, sponsored by Capital One.
Building a better bank starts with looking at something old and saying, really? So Capital One is building something completely new. Capital One Cafes. Inviting places with people here to help you, not sell you. And savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums, because that's how it should be. You can open one from right here or anywhere in 5 minutes. Seriously, 5 minutes. This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Sunny and seasonal today, but feeling more like late September the next couple of days as we head into midweek and your Thursday. Now today is going to be dry. There you can see the conditions at 3 o'clock, 62, 57 by 7 p.m. Tomorrow your sunset 6:09. Temperatures higher in the mid-60s to about 60 degrees by 9 p.m., but perfect weather for the trick-or-treaters for this year. Now on Thursday, it's 74, a little breezy. We're tracking rain for Friday. That's for the morning and the evening rush.
Coming up, that mid-air mystery, what caused this brand new 737 with 189 people on board to crash into the sea?
And something that is extremely rare, how two women carried the same baby.
I'm at the swing joint telling people that Geico's been offering save.